delayed, so you can't look there so much. You have to see in the thing.
No, I'm trying to get.
Okay. What's up? We're here. Yeah. I can't believe it. We're back. Who would have thought?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
News 19 Nerds are here for a Saturday edition. Will this be a regular occurrence? I don't know. Could be. Maybe not. I'm Michael.
I'm Leroy.
Yeah. So much to talk about since we've been gone since, what, 2021?
No, we were here 2 months ago.
That's 2021.
No, we were 2 months ago.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. So hopefully people will slowly come into the chat because we did this kind of spur of the moment. We're sort of trying to figure out our schedules. Edward Sanchez already in here?
He never left.
I know Edward's been waiting for us to come back the entire time.
He never left.
We definitely appreciate it. We got a bunch of topics we're going to hit on tonight. We're going to go longer than an hour probably, so that'll be fun. We'll talk about Activision. We'll talk about Microsoft buying Activision. We'll talk about Sony buying Bungie. We'll talk about consolidation of video game companies, whether it's good or bad. What else we talking about?
Let's talk about how I can't spell.
I-
Look what that says.
Okay. What else you want to talk about?
That's it.
Huh? Anyway, we will do something a little different at the start of the show since we haven't been here in about 2 months. As people fill into the chat, let us know what you guys have been getting up to. We've been working, more or less. Leroy's been working his tail off here in Columbia. I've been working my tail off in Charlotte. And the schedules have not been meeting up for us to do anything. So that's essentially why we did this. I'll tease you guys. We will try to make Saturdays a thing, right? Is the idea. Mm-hmm. We're trying to figure out the best time to do it. This might work since Leroy is a daddy.
Dad, I need you not to use the word daddy with me.
He's a zaddy.
It's inappropriate.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. So, you got to put your little one down and then whenever
Press
you're
play
free.
needs HR.
Say what I want. Come at me.
Wouldn't let me write ass, but you can call me
Come
a
at me,
zaddy.
Jody. Email me today at the Techno account. Anyway,
Jody's very responsive.
Jody is responsive, but I don't think she pays attention to YouTube, so I feel confident. I feel confident that Rich Odell watches us more than Jody does. I would bet a chicken sandwich on that.
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna try and do this Saturdays.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how we can get it all together.
Yeah, because it's hard to do this when our schedules are so different as far as like where we work.
Yeah.
Because you work an hour and a half away, but live in Columbia.
It's like an hour 5. No, that's going way above the speed limit, but it's about an hour 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
So that's about it. So yeah, I didn't realize how long we had been gone because when you brought up Activision, I was like, Activision happened recently?
You thought we had already talked about it.
I really did. Because then I started thinking about what was the last thing we talked about, and it was like Spider-Man, and I was like, oh, it has been a long time.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
And I was like, Spider-Man? That's the last thing we talked about?
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. So I was like, think about what has happened.
Yes, Gary Anderson, good to see you guys again. I was just wondering if you guys ever come back. We are coming back. I don't know if you guys remember 2021. I teased that we would be back. I thought it was going to be a week. Turned out to be a month and some change.
Well, part of it was the Olympics, and then, so you guys don't realize this, but we're in the South where any talk of snow is the beginning of Armageddon.
We do not handle snow well in the
I
South.
believe we would handle zombies better than we handle precipitation.
That's right, because we were going to do it about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Every week.
And we just kept getting snow for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
That is true. Good point.
So that was part of the problem. So it was funny. So like, what happened was everybody started talking about snow. Oh, wouldn't it be funny if we got snow since we get it for Christmas? And they wished it upon us. So right like Wednesday, we were like, hey man, you got to work Saturday? Yeah. Do you got to work Saturday? I don't know. They hadn't told me yet. So then Friday, they were like, you got to work Saturday. And I was like, all right. So
Yeah.
then I came in that Saturday, and they were like, hey, it may snow next week. And I was like, it better not. And they were like, hey,
It's snowing.
it's snowing.
Next week.
And then,
Yeah.
and then it almost did it again.
Yeah.
And it was like, everybody was like this. come on, no snow. And it got cold.
Yeah.
It rained, but it didn't snow. It was just one thing after another.
Yeah. And then from that was the Olympics. Well, so I'm at an NBC affiliate, so we had the Olympics.
And then I'm at a CBS affiliate, and then
Y'all can't say the Olympics on there, can you? Can you say the Olympics on there?
you can say the Olympics, you can't run anything from the Olympics.
Right. Y'all can't say Super Bowl though, right? Y'all can say like the big game. I don't know. I know we can say Super Bowl because we had a Super Bowl on NBC. I don't know. Okay. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. I'm just curious. We're just talking here. We're just having fun. Anyway, it's fine.
Yeah,
Nobody's watching our channel. It's fine.
somebody said Super Bowl? Yeah, they said it a lot.
Man, I miss Columbia.
Yeah.
I love it.
I had to stop the
love it.
sports dude from saying it one day, and I was like, hey, man, you know you can't say that. And then the very next day,
Yeah.
they said it all day, and I'm like,
All right,
why
cool.
am I telling you people? Like,
I miss y'all.
I was like, I got mad. I was like,
I miss y'all.
so this is they should let me drink at work.
Gary Anderson, I'm in Detroit. Snow is what happens on Tuesday. We roll with it. Yeah.
Gary, let me tell you, if we are built for football, we are built for the heat, and we are built for any type of foreign invasion. I believe the South can repel any army militarily just with the weapons we have without the military.
A lot of bases are in the South.
However, I'm not talking about bases. I'm talking civilians. It's just let an outside force roll up in Lexington County. Those dudes and dudettes are strapped. Now let some snow hit, the city shuts down.
Sure.
We can handle zombies better than we handle snow.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So yeah,
So yeah, let's get started. We'll keep chatting and then we'll do this and bring more people.
I
in.
worked 3 weeks straight, basically. I had like 2 days off during that time period.
Yeah.
And then I looked at my check and I was like, this was not worth it. Yes, I was like,
First topic: Activision. Microsoft is trying to buy Activision for, I don't know exactly what it is, but close to $70 billion.
68.7 billion.
Yeah, 70 billion, whatever. At that point, $2 billion is play money. Might as well say 70 billion. Good or bad? Do you care? Do you agree? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad?
I don't know, honestly.
Because I've gone back and forth on it. First, I was like, no, we don't need to consolidate stuff. At first, I was like, yeah, because Activision's having troubles. And I said, no, we don't need to consolidate businesses. But now I'm back to, I'd rather clear out bad corporate culture
But here's the
over
problem.
consolidating companies.
Here's the problem. Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee they're clearing out bad corporate culture because. So let's back up. We have talked about Activision. We talked about Activision before the Game Awards. Mm-hmm. We talked about the harassment, the workplace harassment. We talked about the CEO Bobby Kotick.
See, I've always said Kotick. I've heard some people say Kotick. I don't know. Whatever.
The Bobby. So we talked about the Bobby and how he ran Activision. We talked about how profitable Activision has been and some of the games that they make. And because we talked about is some of the culture that Activision has cultivated the reason why they make a certain type of game. They're known for the Call of Duties. They're known for those shooters, these broed out.
Those shooters? You mean just the shooter, Call of Duty?
Those shooters.
They don't make any other shooter.
What I'm saying is,
like the series
yeah.
of the
What I'm saying is
shooter. Okay.
those type of shooters, the broed out, overhyped, teabagging culture that we have. Is that culture contributing to the type of games that we make? We even talked about that. Mm-hmm. Like we've talked about Activision. So this idea that Activision is being bought by Microsoft is a little weird because we talked about whether or not Jeff Keighley was going to mention Activision at the Game Awards. Mm-hmm. And he made a statement. Mm-hmm. And then we talked about how Microsoft was saying that this is disturbing. Was that the word? Or alarming? They used
some buzzword.
Some kind of word. And all the while, this was going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is good or bad because you're keeping the CEO.
No, they're not.
You say they're not.
They're not.
You say they're not once the deal is done. However, even if they ditch him after the deal is done, he is still going to get paid. and he still allowed this culture of harassment, sexual assault
Sure.
to go on, and so he's still going to be rewarded.
I don't blame Microsoft for that though.
I don't, but here's the thing. I don't know how to fix it.
Oh,
And as I say that, I don't know if Microsoft owning a $70 billion company that already has issues, how does that help the business?
to me, I think it helps the business. So when Microsoft first started acquiring companies, like when they acquired Lionhead Studios and some of those earlier companies, you remember Lionhead? They were the ones that were doing Fable. People liked Fable, and then Microsoft came in and bought them, and they were trying to make other stuff. And people didn't like the way they were handling the studio because Microsoft tried to be hands-on with them, and it ended up kind of
Micromanaged it.
yeah, and it ended up kind of crushing Lionhead Studios. I don't know if Lionhead is still around. It might be, but it's not what it was. They bought Rare, and at the time, I don't know if you remember, Rare was tied with Nintendo, because Rare was making Donkey Kong Country. They were making like all those at the time really pretty graphics for Super Nintendo for Donkey Kong Country, and then Microsoft acquired them. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is a big deal." I don't know if you remember, Rare wasn't doing anything for a while until what's the Pirates game? Sea of Thieves. Before that, they were working on avatars for Xbox 360. They were doing some Kinect stuff, but they were kind of just not circling the drain because they were making money, but they were not the studio they were until Sea of Thieves came along, and now people remember, oh, Rare can make games. They were just making crap before. Those are two examples. Then I don't know, something happened. Maybe it was around the time Phil Spencer came in as head of Xbox or whatever. They've changed the way they acquire studios. Now when they acquire them, they're pretty much hands off because I guess they do their research like, oh, I like what this studio does, so we'll own them, but we'll let them do their own thing.
But see,
And it's been successful. But
that's
there's already insider talk. Oh, they're gutting everybody, or head wise on Activision.
See,
so that's why I'm excited.
well, see, I guess that's that's the question. If you're acquiring this company, and in the past you've learned I can't micromanage, I need to let them. And we've heard this from certain managers, like my previous manager, and yours, Julie. Let you hire the people and you let them do those things.
Sure.
Has Microsoft learned that in order for us to be successful and for them to be successful, we let them do the things that they do. So keeping these people on board until the deal or the merger goes through, however this business transaction goes through, to me is a bad sign because we're not hearing anything about how the culture is changing as far as for the employees themselves. Like right now, there's a report from Engadget, I can pull it up, that came out 4 days ago. Guess when, if I can get the mouse to work.
You know you can.
I mean, I put fresh batteries in here, so. But don't click on something I ain't supposed to.
We know how that works. Well, while you look for this thing, I think it goes back to, and we have a bunch of people who have joined us in and out of chat and whatnot. If we have a financial person or somebody who knows how legal ventures like this work, please speak up. But the way I've always seen it whenever things like this happen is, you can't really touch management like that until stuff is complete. So you can't talk about the deals you're going to make after they're there just because for legal reasons.
Here's the report from Engadget.
Okay.
4 days ago, from iBonaffic. Microsoft opened acquisition talks 3 days after CEO harassment report. So, on one end, Phil Spencer saying he was disturbed and deeply troubled by the horrific events and actions. But from a business side, he wasn't that disturbed because he's like, hey man, get the checkbook.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, that's the problem. And I don't know. And again, I don't know how this shakes out. Do you get your checkbook because you're like, they're having problems so we can get them on the low end? Or do you say, they're having problems, I don't care, go get Call of Duty and put that on Game Pass? See what I'm saying? And like, so for the people who are in it, how does I guess what I'm saying is, again, how does this help the people who are dealing with this when Phil Spencer on one end is saying this is deeply disturbing and we're not cool with it, and yet you're sitting down with the people who implemented these policies and screwed all these people over. And Bobby Kotick has had accusation of sexual harassment himself. So it's almost as if Yeah, it's bad. You're saying it's bad, but it's not bad enough for you to walk away from a deal. And I guess that's the problem that a lot of people are having, where they're like scratching their heads saying, is it really bad? And then for the business, as we as consumers, we're always told to vote with our dollars.
Mm-hmm.
How should we vote with our dollars in this situation? I just got finished playing the last two Call of Duties that were remastered for PS4 for the last generation consoles. And I did not get in any chat. I just played the campaigns because that's what I played. I enjoyed that. If they did a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 remastered.
Well, they're doing Modern Warfare 2. That's the one that's coming out next.
No, what I'm saying is a remastered of 3, the original trilogy. They're doing a sequel to the Modern Warfare that just came out.
Right.
In other words, I don't know if I'd buy Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
Like the new one that's following, like, in this new world that we live in. But that original 3 with Price and Soap and Nikolai, that's what I'm saying. This is a very confusing time for people who are nerds, because it's almost like, hey, do you buy this thing from this company that you think is trashy, that you like, or do you stick to your morals and not, or do you wait for it to go on sale?
So, people have talked about how Vanguard has finally dropped in numbers compared to the other Call of Duties. Having said that, it's still made tons of money.
Yeah.
So even though it's dropped, Activision isn't necessarily hurting financially.
Yeah.
And this is my personal opinion, the way people talk about how Phil Spencer runs Microsoft and those studios, I believe, I don't have any facts to back this up, this is my personal opinion, I think Phil is buying this company with the intention to turn it around. So I am perfectly fine with him getting in bed with this company, because they're going to kick them out. I fully believe they're going to kick all those people out. It goes back to, the tweet happened whenever Microsoft put up a tweet saying they were buying Activision, and then maybe a little bit, either before that or after that, they showed like all the heads that were in charge of Microsoft stuff, and it was just it was a diverse cast of female, male, different races. I was just like, oh, Microsoft gets it. So to me, that's why I'm excited for them taking over Activision. Well, I think business-wise, when you see somebody's having trouble, yeah, that's when you go get it.
That's what this article is saying. There were 4 companies in November who were interested in purchasing Activision Blizzard because its stock died. Now, you pay attention to stocks. I don't know if you remember when we talked about it. You looked up the stock price while we were online.
I'll tell you what. Let's look what Activision is right now.
And so,
because I wanted to buy Activision stock.
And now
it
at least
dropped.
Here it is. The article says at least 4 of the companies contacted the publisher about a possible acquisition. So the stock took a dive in November, because that's when the Video Game Awards came out in December. And that's when the report came out and all this stuff happened.
So Activision has gone back up to 81. It did drop down to, what was it, maybe 60? Yeah, it dropped down to 60. And then when the news of the purchase came up, it went up to like 80.
Yeah.
So it's hovering around 80 or so.
So here we have. So here we have this company who, of course, you buy low, sell high. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know, because as I've gotten older and I'm learning more about how the world works and how I feel about things, I don't want to give people who are doing other people wrong money to support them, that make them think that they're doing a good job.
Sure.
However, if you make a good product, I do want to support you in that product, because that's something I would like in my life. But these are first world problems. I don't need Call of Duty in my life. I like it, I enjoy it, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that if Microsoft buys it, they turn the company around better. But to a better point, this goes to that the hot take that you said, that Microsoft bought Activision to turn Game Pass not into a service that just lives on Microsoft platforms, but it's your hot take. Go ahead.
I envision a world where, because Phil Spencer, Microsoft have said they want Game Pass everywhere. I think if he could get it on a Sony platform, he would love to be on a Sony platform. Sony at the time, and still I would feel like they would say no. I thought that Microsoft would make Activision exclusive from the sense, or make Call of Duty exclusive from the sense of putting it on Game Pass, and then if Sony players want to play it, they can play it through Game Pass. I thought that's what they're going to do, but that's probably not going to happen anymore because they've since come out and said, no, Call of Duty is going to be multi-platform for a while, even after the current contracts.
But here's the thing. They said these particular games will not be exclusive. They have not said for the future that it will never be exclusive.
Sure.
And so that gives credence to your argument that Game Pass could be the Netflix of gaming.
Yeah. And
the license may not be paid for right now. But if it's the Netflix of gaming and everyone has a tablet, everyone has a cell phone, and my mom's cell phone is larger than mine. She has a Samsung 20 SE. So does my sister. Mm-hmm. I don't even know which one I have. The new Apple phones that come out, as fast as they are, tablets. We talked about Steam Labs, Stadia. At first I thought you were insane, but the Game Pass making it the Netflix of gaming isn't so far-fetched, considering what Microsoft has bought.
To me, the question about Game Pass is, how do they sustain it? Because I was always wondering, like, how are you making money off of this by getting the subscribers? But with deals like the Activision deal, that's how you get subscribers. Also, the thing we're not talking about is infrastructure in terms of, is it BlizzNet or BlizzardNet? Whatever they're using to run like Diablo and stuff and all that kind of things, the back end on that stuff, that infrastructure I'm sure they want to help and integrate into Game Pass to make things run smoother. So game wise, you're going to get stuff like, you're going to get your Diablo, you're going to get StarCraft, Warcraft, all that stuff. But the back end is also really enticing to Microsoft, I believe, to help them run things smoother on Game Pass side.
So how much is Game Pass right now? For a bare bones Game Pass,
I think it's $15 a month.
15.
For that's Game Pass Ultimate, which lets you play Game Pass for console or Game Pass on PC.
Okay. Do you think, because right now Disney Plus is going up,
Everything's going up.
Amazon has gone up.
Netflix is going up.
Netflix is going up. When do you think the Game Pass price goes up? Because you got to have a way to pay for it.
So that's interesting because they tried to raise Game Pass last year sometime or the year before, and I guess one positive aspect of, no, I won't say that, but they didn't do it because people are like, yo, you can't do this during a pandemic. And I think maybe the very next day they sent something out and said, hey, we made a mistake, we're not going to raise Game Pass. So they're definitely looking at it.
But also, was it
I don't know.
Was it also the fact that they didn't have enough to raise it? Was there not enough content on it to raise it? Because they say they have 100 games on there. At any time, there's at least 100 games on Game Pass. When I had Game Pass, I looked at it, and don't get me wrong, there was a lot of decent stuff on there. However, they didn't have anything exclusive that I couldn't get someplace else, or that I couldn't get on sale. But now, with Game Pass and them having things like the Outer Worlds, they have all the Gears on there. You have all your Halos. Having Halo Infinite day one, mm-hmm. Outlanders day one, Outriders,
yeah,
Outriders on there. I think you can get away with raising it a little bit. In my opinion, I think you can get away with raising it to $17.99 or something like that. I think you can make it the same amount. And I say this even though I don't want to pay it, but from a business standpoint, Game Pass shouldn't be cheaper than HBO Max.
I'm just saying. In terms of content, because you're getting so many different types of games you can play on Game Pass, so many mm-hmm. different categories, so many companies.
Yeah. So
clearly they found some kind of deal that these companies are willing to buy into this, because with Game Pass you also get access to EA Play, which was their subscription service. I don't think Ubisoft's, whatever their thing is a part of Game Pass yet, but I think they're working on it. So they continue to try to strike these deals to get all this stuff inside of the Game Pass wheelhouse. I think you could raise it. When they didn't raise it before, I don't believe it was.
Trying to raise it to?
I don't remember, but I don't think it was due to the fact of them not having enough content, because when people were complaining, that wasn't the complaint. The complaint was, you can't do this in a pandemic.
Okay. So, I see them raising it sometime this year. Mm-hmm. Only because it doesn't make sense to keep offering it at this price point.
Sure.
And you have all this content. I think if you, I really think probably what needs to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did this. Do Game Pass kind of like you do PlayStation Plus, and what's the Xbox Gold?
Just games for gold, I think.
Is there a way to buy Game Pass for a year?
Ultimate Game Pass, whatever.
Yeah.
I think they only do it in 3 months cards
They do.
now.
So that's
What I usually do is I'll just wait till it's going on sale and buy a bunch of them.
So here's what I'm wondering, and this is something, and I'm quite sure there are people who are smarter than me with degrees who have probably sat and thought about this. Remember how Disney Plus did the 3-year deal, and we're like, you can get you can get Disney Plus for 3 years for X amount of dollars, and it keeps it locked in at this price. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that and said, hey, Game Pass is going up. However, comma, if you pay this amount, you can get Game Pass for an entire year, and the price won't change for you until 2023.
Yeah. I can see that. I think they have a good thing going in terms of they continue to add to the Game Pass subscriber base. I don't think they're adding as many as they were in the beginning, but they continue to grow the numbers. So people are continuing to buy it. People are continuing to like it. I am just curious, what are they going to do to continue to add value to it? Because if you are going to raise the price, then you do have to add other stuff to it. One thing that they've done...
Starfield comes out this year, so I mean, you
maybe.
I mean, I'm saying from...
It's supposed to, but...
It's supposed to. So, I mean, you throw Starfield on there, and that's a 40-plus hour game, at least.
Sure.
So, I mean, Halo Infinite, 1 year. Starfield, and then you have what comes out next year. We know there's going to be a Gears coming up. So...
I think Gears might be in, like, some development trouble.
Really?
I believe so, because one of the guys left the Coalition... Was it to go work back at the Fortnite developer, Epic? I can't remember. Craig something Ferguson, Rob Ferguson. Yeah, because I think they would like the idea of kind of like how Activision currently has 3 different studios working on Call of Duty, so they can do it every year. They would like a different Halo, a different Gears, probably a different Forza, and they can rotate that every 3 years or so. I'm sure they would like that. But in Halo Infinite, it's in the title. I think they're building it to be like a...
They built it to be the Destiny.
Yeah, you're going to keep playing that and adding stuff
like,
to seasons. Yeah.
Because that's why it's called Halo Infinite and not Halo 6.
Yes. Okay, let's say hey to Geeky Andre, Ty Williams, Zayla Maru, IMAX, who else? We said hey to Gary, and Edward Sanchez was in there before. So what's up, all the fellas? Be back. Hello. We are back. We're gonna talk. Since you brought up Destiny.
Now, let's talk about the Dark Master in the corner, just watching all of this and saying, "We're still here." Sony bought
Activision. Or nope, they didn't buy Activision. They bought Bungie
for $3.6 billion.
Yeah, and when this happened, everybody was saying, oh, this is a response to Microsoft. But as you brought up, and anybody who just thinks about it for a second, if you spend $3.6 billion, that's not something you do in a week. Clearly, this was a deal, just like Microsoft's deal had been. This has been in the works for a while. The announcement finally just came out.
Sir.
So this wasn't a direct response.
I have a Black Widow Marvel Legends action figure in my cart from Best Buy for a week.
And that was not $3 billion.
And that's not $3 billion.
Right. Definitely true.
From Best Buy, because I'm trying to figure out, do I want to drive to go pick this thing up?
Right.
Because I don't want to pay the taxes on it.
Okay.
And I'm like, it normally was $30, and it's on sale for $21.99, but with taxes, it comes out to $26, and I'm like,
okay.
Do I really need this toy, even though I didn't like the movie, but I like the action figure? And I'm like, that's $26, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm taking 4 days to spend $26. You think Sony is like, oh, remember in Belly? When my man drove by and he was like,
there goes Belly. I was wondering Belly was coming.
He was eating a banana. He's like, man, I don't like that. I don't like.
Yeah.
You think Sony was pulling a Belly and just saw them buy and Activision was like, buy Bungie?
Yeah.
Like, that's not how this works, people.
And then I can't remember Jim Ryan. Okay, yeah. Jim Ryan, who's a PlayStation CEO, said, "This is just the first of many announcements we got coming up. We're not done buying companies." So I do think you will see
Captain Slim Jim.
Sony. I do think you will see Sony buying other companies, and maybe you could see that as a response to Microsoft. But the issue is, and we've talked about this, and smarter people who are way more into video games have talked about this. The idea of console wars is silly. What you have now is content wars.
Yeah.
You brought this up with streaming, calling it the streaming cold wars and stuff. Sony and Microsoft are not necessarily, they are competing against each other, but they're also competing against like Google and Apple and these bigger companies who are trying to get into the game space, whether it's through a console or through a streaming service. So they're trying to gather up content providers to create content. So Microsoft isn't necessarily worried about Sony. They're trying to watch out for Google and Apple and all those other, and Tencent. We don't talk about Tencent a lot, but Tencent is, I'm pretty sure they're the biggest game publisher in terms of having their hands and majority stakes for a bunch of different companies. Like, they own part of Epic, which makes Fortnite, so they're making all kinds of money. Chinese publisher? Yeah, Chinese publisher. So I mean,
And
they're
remember,
trying to
Tencent has a lot of hand in the movie business. Because if you look at a lot of your movies that come out, especially a lot of your Asian and Korean cinema, you'll see the Tencent logo at the beginning before you'll see like Miramax. You'll see Tencent up there.
Right. So I mean, I think Sony buying Bungie is cool because both companies have said this content's still going to be available across whatever. Destiny is not trying to. Bungie is not trying to stop Destiny from being on Xbox because you're not going to kill half your player base.
No, but
or whatever the player base, not necessarily half.
What I think what the goal is, and this is what Bungie did with Destiny, and they haven't had to do it yet. You made the first Destiny, and then you made a sequel, and then you just build expansion packs. You have microtransactions, for skins, weapon skins, player skins, the speeder bike skins, all of that stuff, and people keep just buying the expansion passes.
Sure.
So now the question becomes with PlayStation, what did Bungie have that Sony wanted that said, we want that game on our platform?
Wait, say it again?
So Bungie built Destiny. That's where their bread and butter was. They said, okay, they built Destiny 2. They built this architecture. They built this structure, this world. And people are still playing it. Personally, I like Warframe more. Once I played because...
Have you ever spent money on Warframe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you I did.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
But what I'm saying is, because this is the thing, when you go to buy a company, you look at their books, you have these hawks, these deals. What did Sony see in Bungie that said, what do you got? What are you cooking?
For me, I think Sony, more so than Microsoft buying Activision for its back-end structure, I think Sony bought Bungie for its back-end structure. Because Sony has talked a lot about getting into the games as a service model. And Destiny has found a way to be a profitable games as a service model on consoles.
Yes.
You don't necessarily see that so much on consoles as you do PC. But Bungie has figured that out. I think Sony bought it for, making money off of Destiny, but also that expertise in games as service.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, what was that game? Because in my estimation, there has to be something that Bungie... In other words, you're not buying Bungie because of Destiny.
Right.
You're buying Bungie for what comes after Destiny.
See, I don't even think it's... Okay, I agree. For me,
and
I don't think it's a specific game. I think it's the idea of whatever... The ecosystem of how Destiny works.
But what I'm saying is, you see the ecosystem. What I'm saying is, there's another game that Bungie's going to build. What is that game? Because in other words, they already know how the ecosystem in Destiny works. They have this world building. They have these loyal fans, But what is next? And that's what I said, because you don't spend $3.6 billion just as a retort to getting Activision and ZeniMax from Microsoft. Right. You want...
Because this wouldn't be it.
It wouldn't. Yeah. But what do you buy? What are you buying? You're buying another game or another service that's coming down the pipeline that you know or that you have an idea for that you can't build, that your studio can't build or wants to build, and you say, get Bungie. If
Sure.
in other words, we have Last of Us. We don't know how to make Last of Us multiplayer as a service game, as a world. By Bungie, and we can combine the two.
Sure.
In other words, what is that thing that they have? Because they talk about that this deal is basically that they want to have something. If you look right here, we are and who wants to accelerate our vision to create generation-spanning entertainment, all while preserving the creative independence that beats in Sony's heart. That beats in Bungie's heart.
And that is from who?
That is from Bungie CEO Pete Parsons.
From a Verge article.
Yes.
Yeah.
From Jay Peters.
Yeah.
So this came out July 31st.
Nope.
Yeah.
January.
It's
like, not July. That's, no.
I saw into the future.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Use
what?
my time machine.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a bunch of questions that Peters asked Parsons. So basically saying what you said, as a Destiny player, does Bungie become part of PlayStation? Have any immediate impact on how? No. They keep asking about Destiny, and that's the thing that I think everybody keeps harping on. Destiny. And to me, I'm like, you're being short-sighted. You have to look at the future. And because here's the thing. Remember a little game called Anthem? And then they bailed on that. And they were like, Anthem could be the new Destiny. Someone is going to make Destiny 2.0 work. Like, Destiny works, but someone is going to make that game like a Fortnite, like a, what's the other one? Apex Legends. Like Destiny, but has that over-encompassing world where the world changes and it's felt to the point where when Fortnite went dark, remember that? That's what they want. My question is, what is that? Like, what is that game? And I don't know what it is, because I'll be honest with you, Rockstar already has that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess what I'm saying is, that's what they want. They want their Grand Theft Auto.
Speaking of Grand Theft Auto, you said it wasn't coming.
I still don't think
They
it's
said
coming.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is in development.
They said it's in development, and I'm telling you right now, it is not coming out as Grand Theft Auto 6. It's coming out as a reboot of Grand Theft Auto,
Okay.
and it's a whole new game.
Okay.
And I honestly think that's where they're going, because this is the thing: how do you top 5?
They'll figure it out. I have faith in them.
Okay. Ken from Chicago, Destiny has a interesting narrative. I won't say it's coherent. I'm being honest. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Destiny's narrative is as coherent as Dark Souls.
I mean, I don't play either, so I can't agree or disagree.
Oh, I thought you knew about the Dark Souls, and it makes no dang sense.
Some people say it makes perfect sense.
It does not. The lore in Dark Souls is like, what?
I mean, I don't know. It's not for me. I don't play games that are that hard. That's just crazy.
I mean, you can put it on easy.
I don't think you're allowed to.
I mean, the game.
Are there difficulty settings in Dark Souls?
I mean,
I don't know. Hey, chat, are there difficulty settings in Dark Souls? I thought it was just one, and it was like kick ass. That's all. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Aaron Taylor Thompson.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Ken from Chicago, Bank 757. Yeah, we're on Saturdays. So the people who have joined in the chat recently, we were talking about it. You know, Leroy and I love to do this. It's just a matter of finding the time to do it. Since I work in Charlotte, he works here in Columbia. It's hard to get our schedules together. Saturday seems to be the best time. So for everybody in chat to know, we will try to do these on Saturdays. We're trying to do it where we can stream it from our homes. We just got to get the software and everything. We're working on it. You know, we're slow people. We're working on it. But yeah, Saturdays will probably be the times we do our press plays. So heads up for that. Side note on that, we talked about other bookkeeping stuff. I finally finally bought a PC. I finally got that TV, y'all. I got a 65-inch LG C1 OLED. I haven't taken out the box yet because the box is freaking huge. But I finally did get a.
I'd have called out.
I finally did get a 4K TV. I just haven't set it up yet. So the game I probably plan to play on it first will be Horizon Forbidden West, which was delayed. My copy was delayed. I was so hurt. It's sitting in Charlotte right now, so I'm supposed to get it tomorrow. I don't know.
I'd have drove up. Hey man, you talking to the dude who's called out for Guardians of the Galaxy.
There we go. Yes, they're supposed to. I mean, here's the thing: if the game doesn't come tomorrow, I could just pick it up on my way to work or where the FedEx is at. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, you talking to the person who was nerd life is my life, son.
Yeah.
I mean, I there are times I have said, I don't need to go to work today. It's a beautiful day. Mm-hmm. A Marvel movie came out. Mm-hmm. I don't want to deal with those people. Mm-hmm. They're not going to steal my joy. And I'm going to watch some people, overpaid actors, save the world.
Yeah, sometimes you got to take a me day. I get it.
You know, it's a personal health day.
Yeah. So that's bookkeeping stuff for us, back-end stuff. Other stuff we were talking about. We talked about did we talk about whether we like consolidation of game companies or not?
See, that's what we were talking about before, and a little bit, and I don't know, because I personally say no, because I like the independence of a video game company has to do their own thing. Perfect example. We know that Sony says that this is not the last acquisition. So there's some video game companies out there, Square Enix, because when you look at how much Microsoft paid for ZeniMax and Activision, Square Enix is cheaper, Capcom is cheaper, Konami is cheaper. Like all these different video game companies are cheaper than that. So I'm looking at some of these smaller companies like, which one of you is next?
People keep talking about Capcom, because that would be a big get for somebody. I think it's more likely that Sony would buy Capcom only because they're both Japanese companies. We haven't really seen Microsoft buy any Japanese companies. And we know, as great as Microsoft and Xbox has been,
they have not been able to crack the Japanese market.
Yeah, they have not.
And they have, honestly, from all reports, have really kind of stopped trying.
The last big thing I remember for them, the last big game I remember was, I don't know if you guys remember, it was Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon on the 360. Because those are made by some people from the Final Fantasy team, I believe, the original Final Fantasy team.
They were, but they were from Lost Odyssey was made by the same people who do the Three Kingdoms people, wasn't it? The people who do like what is that game?
I don't know.
I have to look it up, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I say that to say because the idea was, okay, we're developing these Japanese RPGs. The Japanese market did not care about those games so much. And then they tried to work on, I think it was with Platinum Games.
Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
Yes, that's...
They tried to work on Scalebound. I think that was with Platinum Games. And that was going to be a Japanese developed game. People were excited. That just never came together. So Microsoft has kind of been like, I'm sure they would love to get a foothold in Japan, but I just feel like a Konami or a Capcom, more so a Capcom, or maybe a Namco Bandai would let themselves be bought by Sony. Although if you pay enough money, I think it's like the fiduciary responsibility. You have to at least entertain talks.
Here's a problem that I have with these game consolidations, and why I'm not sure, and I'm not a big fan because I like the independence that these game companies have. It's one little studio. I'm replaying their game right now, and it was popular. We talked about it a little bit in the past, and for some reason it's back in the news. It's like the video game that won't die because it has touched so many different corners of the internet, and it has so many different buzzwords, and even one of the actors talked about it. It's Days Gone. Ben's studio wanted to do a sequel to Days Gone, and Sony said no. From everything that we've heard, and no one can give a clear, concise reason. And to back up, let's talk about why Days Gone is back in the news and why it keeps coming up. Ghost of Tsushima came out and sold 10 million copies. Or is it 8 million?
I don't know. They sold a lot.
They sold a lot. Somebody came on and said, that's interesting. You guys are celebrating that this is a hit when Days Gone sold this and we were told we were not doing a good job. One of the game developers, one of the devs, I remember, and basically it started this whole argument again about how Ben Studio and some of the people who worked at Ben Studio felt how they were treated when they made Days Gone versus how the industry has fallen over backwards and praised Ghost of Tsushima when they basically felt like Ghost was Assassin's Creed without the animus or whatever the thing is called.
It's animus.
Is it animus?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because I hadn't played one since
Origins?
Yeah, Origins. And I hate the animus.
Most people do.
I hate the animus. And
like the modern storyline, you don't care about the modern storyline?
I don't give a damn about the modern storyline.
Yeah.
I want a Days Gone 2. I would love a Days Gone 2. I enjoyed Days Gone 2. Now,
you better get ready for a Siphon Filter, but anyway.
I think that's what they're making too.
I think they keep working on a Siphon Filter game.
That, and they posted that.
Did
They posted last week, tell us your best experiences with Siphon Filter. And I was like, oh. And it was from their official Twitter page.
Cool.
Now I've been on record saying Ghost is a better game in the sense of the storytelling, in the sense of the gameplay versus when Days came out versus when Ghost came out. Ghost did not have the problems that Days did when it came out. Now, with that being said, I'm playing Days Gone right now. I enjoy Days Gone. Mm-hmm. However, there are story things that are in Days Gone that I cannot stand. There are 3 characters in the game that I cannot stand. Spoiler alert, if you have not played Days Gone, again, spoiler alert.
That game has been out for a long time. You're probably not playing it. But we're giving you time to...
Deacon St. John is a 1% biker who is struggling with the loss of his wife during the zombie apocalypse. For 2 years he pined for this woman. Went to her gravestone, did all of this stuff, trying to put the past behind him.
Katie, I hope you're watching.
Almost got his best friend killed. He did everything a man should do. And guess what? He spurned other lovers. Women who threw themselves. It was like, take me, Deacon St. John.
Does that happen in the game?
I mean, not to the...
Oh, I was like, was that what Sony Ben did?
No, that's not what happened.
Okay, I was like, oh no.
I'm acting.
Okay, I didn't know how intense it was.
It was more or less like, hey.
Okay, cool.
But in my mind,
yeah,
because he was like, no, I think Sarah's still alive, and he found Sarah, and this woman was like, what's up? And I was like, this dude fought zombified bears, wolves, backstab, like, and she was like, what's up? So
and
I was like,
you want a sequel to that?
And I was like, I want her to die.
All right.
I did not want her to live.
Okay.
I didn't want him to find her. I wanted the game to be like, yo, this is what you, like, when you lose someone, you gotta let that go. And that's what I wanted. Nah, they didn't see fit to give me that.
Okay.
They saw fit to give me the dude from Modern Warfare 2 at the end of the game who kills all his men.
Okay.
It really, the storyline itself does not. Yes, Zaylan Maru, yes. Because did you ever play Days X? Mankind, thank you. That's another woman who was like, Adam Jensen he did everything. And that girl was like, so what happened was, I'd have been like, shh. Okay. She'd have had to get it too.
So before you get off this soapbox about bad couples in video games, what was the original point of your argument?
All I'm saying is, again, I have some issues with Days Gone.
Okay.
But the mechanics of the game itself, I had so much fun playing it. Outside of those storyline beats.
Okay.
I had fun playing it. I had fun playing Deus Ex. And I want to let them stay independent because Sony was like, nah, make something else. And I'm like, and then what really made it worse was we live in this political where a straight white male video game character who was, this knight in shining armor, they don't want that anymore. They want the alphabet gang and all of that. And I'm like, who said that? Like, no one said that. The game had bugs when it came out. I did not like some of the gameplay choices in the game and some of the characters, but the game itself was solid. The ending was very good. Like, that reveal at the end, you were like, oh, where do we go from here? And you're like, wait, we not getting another one? I felt betrayed. Okay. I felt as betrayed as Deacon St. John did when he went to save his, because again, they didn't get a divorce. That's still his wife. You're still married in the zombie apocalypse. That's not how this works. It says for better, for worse, for richer, for poor. They're still married. So, I'm just saying.
IMAX says Leroy is pouring it on.
I'm just, okay. I have a very big problem with that. And I say all of this on this tangent that I went on for Days Gone to say Ghost was a better game. However, I would have loved to have seen what they did with a sequel. And here's where Days Gone and Sony did a disservice to the game. You released Days. If I remember correctly, Days came out, was it right before Last of Us 2 came out?
Oh, I don't.
Well, I can't remember, but basically people were kind of like zombied out, and it was like there was a lot of comparison to Last of Us. And they're two totally different games. And the storyline in Last of Us 1 and 2 is a better storyline. Although they did make me as mad in Days Gone as they did in Last of Us 2. That's another video. But I say all of that to say if the studio was independent and was not owned by Sony, Ben would probably do a Days Gone too.
So, maybe. But where are they getting the money to make it?
I would say...
Because Sony funded the first one.
Sony did fund the first one. And what I'm saying is, that's the problem. In other words, that's the conundrum. Sony made it so we got a Days Gone. But whatever metrics Sony has, we're not going to get a Days Gone 2. So it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because if they were independent, would they even been able to make a Days Gone? But if they were independent, they could still make a Days Gone 2, but they would have never got the money to make the first one to begin with. So which one is it? We would love to have a Days Gone 2. I'm quite sure if they made a Days Gone 2, it would sell. And I think they would learn from the mistakes that they made under the first one. However, how much interference did Sony run or support did Sony not give them to make this game?
Somebody brought up, let's see. Somebody was talking about Ken from Chicago. There's this spin on big conglomerates having more resources, but is that reflected in the games? So that kind of goes back to your point of, are you allowed to do sequels and stuff like that? Juan Ortega, have you guys watched the trailer for Doctor Strange 2? We did. I'm excited. I'm real excited for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
It might be Sam Raimi's best movie. Or only good movie.
This dude. Calm down. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't like Army of Darkness and Evil Dead.
Not about tree rape.
It's a tree though. Trees don't have feelings. Trees don't have feelings.
Sir, the tree didn't get...
Yeah, I know.
He said that...
It's a horror movie, man.
Sir. In 2022?
Yeah, but the movie didn't come out then.
They made another one.
It didn't come out 2022?
They made another one and did this. It was worse.
Did they?
Yes!
I mean, I don't watch scary movies, so I don't know.
It was in the trailer.
Again, I don't watch scary trailers. I'm not gonna see the movie. I'm gonna watch the trailer. I don't need to know.
That was like the whole thing about the movie. Like, they did it again.
Oh well, there you go. But Sam Raimi didn't do the remakes.
He produced it,
Well, I mean, what you want him to do?
not put it in there.
I mean, he didn't make the movie.
Yes, he did.
He didn't direct it.
He made the movie.
He didn't make the remake.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Yes, he did.
Y'all, who directed the remake?
He didn't direct it, but he produced it. He got the movie made with his blessing.
I mean, what you want to do? What you want to do? Chat, what you want him to do?
Are you endorsing tree violence here?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
All I'm saying is Sam Raimi has made other movies besides this Doctor Strange that are probably good.
I disagree.
Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 are good.
Spider-Man
movies.
2 was good.
Spider-Man 1's a fine movie.
Spider-Man 1 was
I
not
mean,
a
minus
fun
Green Goblin and the
Spider-Man
and the
1
green
was not a
suit or
good
whatever.
movie. I don't care what y'all say. Spider-Man 1 was just okay. And I stand on that premise.
Let's see, what is this? Let me see. Zayla Maru, subversion in well-established franchises can be dangerous. And Ken from Chicago said Zayla Maru agreed. Subvert how fans get what we want, not what we want. Here we go. Ty Williams, Sony's reaction today is gone. Almost seems personal.
Well, and here's my problem with, again, we got off topic because you.
Because of you.
You brought up Doctor Strange.
The viewers brought up Doctor Strange.
I was still talking about my love of Days Gone. And that it was one of the best $11 games I've ever played. I mean, and that's where it goes back to, I don't know what happened with Days Gone. I would really like someone to talk and actually be honest on the record to say, Sony says this is what we did, and the devs were like, yeah, that happened. We didn't appreciate it. Sony's like, our bad. You still gonna make Siphon Filter. Like,
Sure.
just be honest.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I enjoyed Days Gone. I think Ghost is a better game. I like Deacon St. John. The people in the game seemed real, even though I didn't like their life choices.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I think the motorcycle mechanics in that game is probably one of the best. The animation, it looks great on a PS5. It looks great on a high-def television. The way the game works, again, I like it. I know it did not score as high, and that's because of the story and some of the bugs that happen. The story leaves a lot to be desired, and there's a lot of step and fetch quest in it, a little bit more than probably needs to be. It could have been a little tighter, but you could say the same with Horizon Zero Dawn. That world was huge, and there was a lot of step and fetch quest in that game as well. But with Sony owning them, would I get my Days 2? I don't know. But I'd like to see it.
Oh, man. You were talking about this dog on Days Gone, so I forgot the original topic about conglomerates.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, when I say that, I'm just one person who is saying this. There are hundreds of people. I'd wager thousands of people who feel the same way. True. And I don't know what game for you that has happened because of consolidation of these studios owning, but that's the most recent one that I know. So that's why I said I don't know if it's good because, again, I brought up damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you're right, Sony funded Ben Studio to make that game. They were known for Crash Bandicoot and Siphon Filter. And Siphon Filter, if you remember, was supposed to be a Mission Impossible game.
No, not Crash Bandicoot.
What's the other one? Is it Spyro?
I don't know, but Crash Bandicoot was like that. I don't think that was Sony Ben.
That's not. No, who's Ben? Ben did one of those. Is it Fox? Sly Fox?
Sly Cooper?
Yeah.
No, that's Sucker Punch.
Oh.
Those are people who do Infamous now. So, for your bad example of conglomeration, I have a good example of a big company buying stuff, and this has been on the record. I don't know if you guys played Psychonauts 2 or not. Very fun game. Tim Schafer, head of Double Fine Studios, has said Psychonauts 2, which has been in development for like 16, 17 years, would not have been made unless they were picked up by Microsoft.
Who? What?
So Tim Schafer.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are definitely good examples of big studios buying, or big companies buying up studios where the games can get made, and also bad ones where you might not get sequels.
Agreed.
So yeah, it's I don't know if it's 50-50, but there's good and bad. I think companies coming together could be okay, as long as those studios are allowed to kind of do their thing, which I'm hoping is what Microsoft's doing with a lot of stuff, pending the Activision stuff. But I still think you're going to get like small, true independent developers, like the guy who made Stardew Valley. Concerned Ape, I think, is the title of his whatever his handle is. That was a one man band, as it were, who made Stardew Valley. Great game. Well, if you like farming simulators, great game. Tons of free content that he released. You only paid for it once. He's got a new game coming out, Chocolatier something.
Chocolatier.
Haunted Chocolatier, I think is what it's called. A lot of people excited for that. So, I mean, I think you're still going to get those small studios that can still make stuff, and you'll get people like Devolver Digital who will help independent publisher or independent studios publish those smaller games.
True, but I guess what I'm saying is I would like to see the idea of having an independent studio, kind of like a Square Enix. Square Enix is able to make games, publish games, and we know Square Enix is behind two of the latest Marvel games for the consoles, whether it be Avengers on one side or Guardians of the Galaxy the other side. Mm-hmm. Both of them came out relatively close together. Avengers came out first, and then the next year, Guardians came out. So
when you say close, like, is that close?
I'm saying like one right after another. It wasn't like years. Okay. So what I'm saying is, and we saw the difference between what Crystal Dynamics was able to do versus
Square Enix.
Eidos Montreal.
Oh, right.
So we're able to see the difference between the two games and the narrative choices that they took. The idea that Square Enix was able to do that, to me, speaks to the idea that they're an independent studio, not a small studio. When I say independent, I'm not talking small games. I'm talking, I don't want to see Sony buy Square Enix. Because...
You might be upset in a few months.
I mean, I've said this.
Yeah.
It's probably coming.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Sony buy Square Enix because I want Square Enix to still be able to apply their trade and make their weird little Final Fantasy games for those people who want it. And I still get Guardians of the Galaxy, which I did not know I wanted. I poo-pooed Guardians. Mm-hmm. I did. We saw the trailer and I was like, ugh. To me, it reminded me of the backlash or the way Avengers was sold us. The microtransactions, the gameplay wasn't that great. The storyline, they tried to model themselves over the MCU versions, but they didn't play like the MCU versions. They didn't work together like that way. Guardians modeled themselves after the MCU versions and the comic versions, but they played true to the characters they were without being the MCU versions. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you would get that with them being under the umbrella of, because I don't know if they would have, if Sony would have been like, yeah, go ahead and make that first person campaign, and because there's no multiplayer on it. Mm-hmm. It's just a on the rails single player version game, mm-hmm. and it's great. Like, I see why it was nominated as one of the best games of the year.
Okay.
And again, it was a game that I didn't know I wanted. And I don't know if we're going to continue to get those type games when the money is to be made in games for platform services.
Ty Williams, he said, Mike, great choice on the TV. That picture is great out of the box, but pro calibration will take it over the top. Ty Williams, can I do pro calibration on my own, or do I have to get a professional to do that? Hence the pro and pro calibration.
All the pro you need.
I said what I said. So Ty Williams, you let me know if I need to hire a real professional or Leroy can come calibrate my TV. Let me know.
I said it, and I mean it.
Okay, great.
I'm going to come in like Eminem. His arms were heavy.
Yeah, great.
We'll play 8 Mile in the background.
Any other topics? We ain't talked to them in like 2 months. Anything else you want to say?
I mean, we haven't talked about, I know people asked us about Doctor Strange and Sam Raimi. I'm not a big Sam Raimi fan. I wanted Scott, the guy who did the first Doctor Strange.
Scott.
Huh?
Derek Scott?
Whoever the
Scott
guy.
Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson. I wanted him to do the sequel. And I know he had a creative falling out with Marvel. He left the project. They brought in Sam Raimi. I'm hoping this is good. I'm hoping with direction Sam Raimi takes does a good job with it. I'm not a real big Sam Raimi fan. I'm just not. I think his stuff is okay. I'm not one of those people. Remember how Josh Whedon had fans and people were like, everything Josh Whedon does is great. And I'm like, he's okay. Ain't nobody saying that now. But I'm not a Sam Raimi fan. And I'm not a Doctor Strange fan. So I like...
That's two hurdles you got to get on.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
like... And and it's like, I like everybody involved in the... And so the first director made me like Doctor Strange. So I'm like, well, let's keep going in that direction. And so to switch horses midstream, I'm kind of like, ugh. But this could be Thor Ragnarok, where you switched and brought in Taika, and it's like, oh, this
Sure.
is... So I saw the trailer. I'm interested. I think it's going to be... It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I know there's a lot of theories. I know that a lot of people are hinting at the Illuminati being in this. I hoping it's not.
Really?
I want the Marvel Fox universe to die a painful death.
Oh, that's right, because you never really liked the X-Men movies anyway.
I hope that... I mean, Michael Fassbender was good. Ian McKellen was okay. When I see Ian McKellen as Magneto and then I see Ian McKellen as Gandalf, and I'm like, damn, he was a good Gandalf. Patrick Stewart as Professor X was good.
That's the only person we see in the trailer.
Yeah, but when
The
you get
X-Men
you
universe.
get one,
You get them all?
yeah, they're like roaches. You get one of those Marvel, the Fox people. I'm willing to go in this hot take rant. The guy who played Wolverine.
His name is Hugh Jackman. You can learn his name.
The guy who played Wolverine.
Don't do that. Don't do that to Hugh Jackman.
Mr. Jackman did one good Logan movie, and it was called Logan.
Okay.
I don't want to see that bastardization that was the Fox universe ever again.
Okay.
I want Kevin Feige to do the mutants and I want to see what, because this, again, I say this over and over and over again, and people are probably going to get tired of hearing those of us say it. The bread and butter for Marvel, when it came to the comics, had always been Spider-Man and the X-Men. The Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man were always second-tier characters. The Avengers weren't even their best-selling book. It has always been the X-Men. And if Feige and the Marvel team could do that with the Avengers, there is no telling how great. And Zaylan Maru, it was not good. Days of Future Past was not good. I'm one of the people who thinks there are two good Fox movies. X-Men First Class and Logan. And I don't even count. I'll say the first the Deadpool movies were okay. 1 was the best, 2 was okay. Halle Berry, as much as I love her as Storm, no. Whoever that dude was, who was Bishop, no. No, I can't. The Days of Future Past was terrible. And King for Chicago, yes. See what MCU did with Spider-Man.
Sure.
It's time for the X-Men to be in. And I don't even, and this is the thing, X-Men First Class has its huge plot holes. You killed Darwin? He's supposed to be able to absorb anything. How do you, you killed him like that? Get out of here. I do not want to see the Illuminati, because that means you're bringing in Professor Xavier, and that means Professor Xavier is Patrick Stewart, which means you're bringing in those bastardizations, and that means
not necessarily. Because here's the thing.
Okay.
Okay. No.
Go ahead.
You are totally right. Most of the Fox X movies are not good, but that's because they were done by Fox. Who's to say that Kevin Feige and the Marvel team don't get a different performance of Professor Xavier and other mutants or whoever?
I have no problem with Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier. He was a good Professor Xavier. Those movies were terrible. Because the characterizations of those characters, thank you. See what Banks 757 says? I hated the X-Men movies because they were so focused on Jennifer Lawrence. The two things that made those movies so terrible were Jennifer Lawrence, and I say that not because she's a bad actress, because they wanted to focus on Mystique and they focused on Logan. Those two characters, it's like this. Those characters, you don't want so much of them. So the people who like the X-Men movies, and I'm going to say this, and it's a generalization, and say what you will, but we hadn't done this in a while, and it's Hot Take Saturday.
We haven't done it in a while. We'll never do it again, apparently, because we will get shut down after this. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
I mean, you endorsed tree rape earlier, so I got to top that.
I didn't do that, and you don't have to top it. This isn't a competition, but go ahead.
The X-Men movies by Fox and how people feel about Fox is the same way people feel and how I feel what Warner Brothers has done to the Justice League with Zack Snyder.
Okay.
That's how
that wasn't that hot.
And the people who like the X-Men movies are the Snyder Bros.
I mean, that's a little bit hotter. That's more of a generalization, but...
I told you it was a generalization.
Yeah, it's definitely a generalization.
Because here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't... The essence of those characters that were in the Marvel Fox movies are not the characters in the comics. And this is my... Well, actually, I'm going to say that. The Marvel Fox movies, the people who like those movies... it's okay. You can like those movies. Those characters are not the X-Men.
They're not your X-Men.
No, they're not the X-Men. Because somebody brought up, we're getting the cartoon. The cartoon and the X-Men movies are two totally different things. The X-Men movies are what happens when someone watches the X-Men cartoon and says, let's add the Matrix.
You mean because of the black leather and stuff? Okay.
Because remember, it's around the same time. That's what I'm saying. That's what you get when you have someone who doesn't have a feel for the characters and realizes, because the X-Men have so many different stories, so many different places they can go. The X-Men have gone to space. They have space children. I
always like Leandra in the Shi'ar Empire.
So
personally, that was cool.
So Finn, this is what I'm trying to say. When you look at what the X-Men movies were, they don't have a clear, coherent vision, as Ken from Chicago is saying. Like when he brings up, they don't have that, because you go from the first X-Men movie to the second, to where they're all good in the hood with the government. Then you go to the third one, which just goes off the rails. And I liken the X-Men movies to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. The X-Men, the first one was okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't terrible. It was just, whatever. The second one was better. The third one is Spider-Man 3. And then they tried it again with X-Men Origins, and that was just, Will.i.am is right. What? What? Like, come on. Let's all just admit those X-Men movies were not great. And then they got better. And then towards the end, and we're going to bring up X-Men Apocalypse? Come on now. We have been waiting for Apocalypse for so long.
That movie had Oscar Isaac.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oscar Isaac is a good actor.
Keep
Apocalypse
going.
was not
Keep
great.
going.
That's it. I'm saying Apocalypse was
look
not
at
great.
The cosplayers and look at Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse.
I remember that photo came out from Entertainment Weekly, which, to be fair, Entertainment Weekly still photos, I don't know what the filter is, but they don't look great. The stills in Entertainment Weekly never look as good as they do in the movie.
Yep.
But when Apocalypse came out and Oscar Isaac had his thing on, he looked like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers. I was like, that doesn't look good.
Yep.
That's it.
And so that's what I'm telling you from my perspective. And that's why I said I don't, and I say all of that to say, when I watched that Doctor Strange trailer, and I was like, we were excited, we watched it during the Super Bowl, we watched the trailer afterwards, we were like, is that Patrick Stewart? That's definitely his voice. And then I started thinking about it, I was like, oh no. No. And I turned into Newt from Aliens when she was like, we need to get out of here. They come out at night. And I was like, no, they're coming out. And I was like, all I could think of was this. Mm-hmm. And Hugh Jackman walks in and I'm like, nope. And I'm like, nope.
Nope. I don't think Kevin Feige and the Marvel team are going to do that. I think it's just maybe Patrick Stewart. Just so people know, oh, that's how they're going to join this stuff together. And then they'll get a new X-Men, I think.
This is the thing.
And also, I'm curious.
When do you start them?
Well, yeah, but no, we debated this for a second when we watched Super Bowl and we saw it, and I was like, I almost wondered if that was a post-credit scene that they showed in the trailer, and you were like, they've never done that before. Like, they haven't, but I'm just curious because that almost seems like, what if that is a post-credit teaser for something else? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just a theory I got.
I really want Doctor Strange to be good because here's the thing. For those people who've read the comics, Doctor Strange, a lot of these characters that you're seeing played by A-list actors, like, people don't realize Doctor Strange, again, when you read the comics, you look at what comics sold. Superman, Batman sold, but Batman has always been hands down. And Finn, I will not bring up Dark Phoenix because I don't want to be mad. I want to go home and have a good night. Doctor Strange and some of these characters were not like your first tier, you know what I'm saying? Like,
did we ever review Dark Phoenix?
We did.
Hey, shameless plug. Go check out our Dark Phoenix
We
review.
did.
Oh, we did because
That
that's
was
what we talked about.
Delaney we did the intro, and Delaney's hype got me hyped for Dark Phoenix. I was like, you know what? I'm willing to look the
right. But I wanted to bring that up because that's when we talked about the fact that Umbrella Academy did a better Phoenix Saga.
Yep.
Then yeah, okay, got it.
And so here's the thing. I'm like, Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor. Like, and again, you know you're a good actor when I can believe you can be Sherlock Holmes and Robert Downey Jr. can both be Sherlock Holmes. Like, you both were Sherlock Holmes at the same time.
Sure.
And they're both believable. I like the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch and these people are getting to play these characters that gives them so much different range and depth, and they're getting to have fun. And I want to see that in the X-Men because there's so many different characters outside of Wolverine that you can do an awesome job with. Like, people don't realize Storm is claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Like this is a woman who flies, who can control the weather, and has childhood trauma, who was a thief on the streets. I want to say it was South Africa, but I'm not sure. I know it was an African nation. But the thing is, here's a woman who became a goddess. You have Thunderbird, who didn't last very long. You have Banshee. You have so many different characters that have so many great backstories that rival anything you saw in the Avengers. And Kevin Feige has said, like you brought up in the last Assemble, the Avengers are done. We're not getting another Avengers movie.
So I watched that, and what he said was, with the final Avengers movie, now we're changing stuff.
Yep.
And I wonder if he really meant final Avengers movie, or maybe he just meant that's the final one that we have right now. I feel like it could be interpreted either way, personally.
This is what I think. You're still going to have an Avengers team, but they're not going to be the team that we saw. And you're not going to get an Avengers movie. You're going to get a team in the Marvels 3 with Captain Marvel. You're going to get an Avengers team that shows up in different places. Okay. You're not going to get an event like Avengers Endgame again. You're not getting that anytime soon because the money's going to be made when they bring the Fantastic Four. And again, we talk about the Book of Boba Fett and like where does Star Wars go because The Mandalorian was here. Clone Wars was here. Rebels was here. Bad Batch is here.
And where's Boba Fett? Oh, wow. Not on the floors.
Hold
on. Don't dig.
You heard that? Book of Boba is down there.
Okay.
Book of Boba is down there.
Okay.
So, yeah, I say that to say they're going in a whole different direction. And again, when the Fantastic Four hits, you're going to see Spider-Man numbers. Because when they bring that first family back, they're not bringing whatever that Josh Trank stuff was. Whiplash ain't in this movie. Just go ahead and get ready. Fantastic Four, if done right by Kevin Feige, will be a top 10 movie. Maybe the movie of the year. Because if they pull off a Fantastic Four movie, as well as they pulled off a young Peter Parker with Tom Holland. And here's the thing. Tom Holland's Spider-Man hangs out with the Fantastic Four. You don't think people would see that?
Sure.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, in comics, Peter Parker and Johnny Storm are good friends, right? A lot, yeah.
And Base brings it up. Thanos was good. Like, Josh Brolin was good. I don't know who they're going to get
To be Doctor Doom.
to be Doctor Doom. But if you have the gravitas of a Doom who is smooth and conniving and just despicable, but you like him at the same time, and he walks around in a giant metal outfit, like, I just like, people don't understand how big the X-Men were and how much people love
Two
the
people have
X-Men.
talked about Blue Marvel.
So
Ty Williams and maybe
Look,
it was Finn 2187.
Blue Marvel is basically like imagine if Denzel Washington was a smart god with the powers of Superman.
Okay.
It's like he has that kind of,
Yeah.
not the Alonzo Denzel from Training Day. I'm talking like Malcolm X Training Day.
Okay.
With the fedora and
Yes. Okay.
I'm talking Book of Eli.
Got it.
But I really want the X-Men to work, because the X-Men were the 90s X-Men, the blue and gold teams, Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, those X-Men is where I came to age. The Siege of Perilous, the Brood, all of those X-Men stories, the Reavers, Magneto and Asteroid M. Like, I want to see Apocalypse, the Shadow King, all of these different people.
Kid from Chicago. Dark Phoenix had Storm in the rain holding an asinine umbrella in the trailer. No way Storm would ever use an umbrella. She loves the rain and would rather be rained on or use her powers to block rain.
Yeah. Like, in the comics, we've literally watched her walk and the rain just stops. Like, there's a force field over her. And she just... And then, like, there's a couple of times when I think it was Willis Portico was like... He has this great cover where she's just staying in the rain after her and Forge broke up. And it's just Storm with the white hair and a ponytail, just rain falling all over. And you're just like... Damn, this was great art. And, like, the stories were okay. But, like, Banks brings up Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister is this... He's
Man, we almost had a Mr. Sinister in the Fox X.
That's what I'm saying, man!
I'm not trying to get you hyped up.
I really... Like,
Yeah.
I don't, like... And I'm not even a Spider-Man fan. I'm not. But... I'm not gonna lie. When I watched No Way Home and I saw Tobey Maguire, I got excited.
Sure.
When I saw Andrew Garfield, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not
Doc Ock talking to Toby was great.
that too. But see,
That was nice, just a nice little heartwarming scene for us.
it was a heartwarming scene. But you know what I got? And we talked about it. I kind of teared up a little bit when I saw Andrew Garfield because I felt like people bashed those movies, and I liked Andrew Garfield, but I love when he caught MJ.
Sure.
And she was like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And it was like, he did it. And I'm not even a Spider-Man fan. But to see those people and to see those characters on screen, and I'm thinking, Kevin Feige did that. He made us love Andrew Garfield again. And you are going to give him the X-Men? Keep in mind, those are the movies he interned on and learned, oh, let's not do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He interned on Fantastic Four. And we're going to allow him to do his version after what we've seen. I mean, to me, Kevin Feige's only made a couple of mistakes. The Ancient One with Tilda Swinton. Black Widow movie. And I think that's it. That's
a couple.
That's
two.
really my only beef.
Okay.
I mean,
that's a pretty good batting average.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, I know he's got
27 plus films.
I know he's got a swing and a miss coming up, man. But
yeah.
I mean, I cannot wait to. Ken from Chicago brings up Rise of Silver Surfer teaser still cool. I cannot wait for Galactus to show up. I cannot wait for the conversation between Reed Richards and the Silver Surfer when he is the Herald of Galactus and he's like, he's coming. Mm-hmm. And you're like, who is he? And you have that Tony Stark moment when Tony Stark in that trailer says, say his name again, and Gamora says Thanos. He's only ever had one vision. Mm-hmm. And you thought the devourer of worlds, the creature who control.
Y'all, he's gonna be over here, just having a moment for a second. Yeah,
I don't think y'all understand.
Yeah, it's great.
Galactus is coming. We have seen Celestials. We have the Eternals. Galactus is coming, and when he comes, I know I sound like a crazy person in the street with the sign that says Jesus is coming.
For the last 20 minutes.
Galactus is coming, y'all, and when he does, I don't think we gonna make it.
Fantastic. On that, y'all, we out. You got anything else?
Miles Morales.
Y'all, we gonna be here all night.
Kevin Feige brings in Miles Morales.
Uh-huh.
I'm ready for the deep sleep. You can take me, Lord.
Wow. On that note, thank you for joining us. It's been fun to talk. We hadn't really had a chance to talk like this in a minute.
Nah.
So it's been great. Thank you guys for coming in and chilling with us. We've steadily grown an audience, over the hour and a half that we've been doing this, which has been nice. Thank you guys for rocking with us and chilling with us and just letting, as we figure out our schedules and whatnot. You want to try to do this again next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll try it at 9.
Yeah. We will either be here or maybe my house. We'll figure something out.
We'll try something out. Here's the thing, and I didn't. So I guess I'll tell y'all now. So part of the reason why we haven't been able to do this is because of our schedule, and also I'm expecting another one with Katie. So you
dropping news to him?
So we're in the market of looking for a house. So that's part of the reason why today we were late. We were going to do this at 9. We were supposed to get at 8:30, but we drove by a house we wanted to look at. I'm not trying to jinx it, but it looks like a decent house. So hopefully we'll get stuff, because if we're not able to do it at Michael's house, I'm hoping to put together a room that we can do it in. So it's been a little crazy. So we'll definitely be able to do it in June, because I ain't got to work.
We'll definitely be back before June. We should be back next Saturday for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I already told him. This is nice. June. I got 6 weeks of paternity leave. Sharenda was like, "Hey, you need to get this boy trained." So
yeah, because you're gonna be gone.
I was like, "When do you want me to start, girl?" I was like,
"Okay." What got you through the week? Or actually, no, what got you through these months? Just name some stuff people should check out.
Call of Duty, man.
Oh, okay.
Did you not see me getting on every night playing Call of Duty?
I don't turn on my PlayStation all the time.
Oh,
I've been turning on my Xbox more.
I played whatever that Breakpoint Ubisoft huge ass game, and I needed something different. And Guardians. Remember? No, yeah. I mean, I played Guardians. And I loved Guardians.
Okay.
I can't wait for y'all to play Guardians. Guardians is a love letter to. I like Gamora and Guardians more than I like Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
That's how good Guardians was.
Okay.
I played that and Modern Warfare 1 and 2. Popping them in just took me back to a nostalgia where I was like, Markov, Nikolai. Mm-hmm. Like we riding through these fields, man, catching these bullets. When my man says, "Star, we will fire on you," and you're at the burger barn and you got to save the VIP. Oh man, come on. So yeah.
Carlos de Leon, yeah, man. Thank you for joining us as we are about to sign off, but we should be back next week. But
Seafood looks great.
Seafood does look great. Man. And I got like $35 in Best Buy credit. Oh, but it's a digital. No, there's a physical version, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I might be able to buy it from there.
Did you see that live action trailer for it?
I haven't seen live action. I have to check that out.
Yo, yeah. You slipping.
Okay.
It looks great.
For me, what's got me through since I have talked to y'all in a
I
minute.
thought you still were playing Persona.
I put Persona down just
I
because.
told you.
I was like,
It's over 80 hours.
yeah, and it's just like
because you're playing 5, right?
Yeah. I put that down. I am finishing up Final Fantasy 15. That game is old as all get out, but I bought it recently for like $17. That's a fun game. Playing that, almost done with that. I need to get back. I have Guardians of the Galaxy and Deathloop still wrapped up as Christmas gifts that I haven't played yet.
Started Deathloop.
I want to play those. Like I said, I will play Horizon Forbidden West whenever it finally comes because I got the super fancy edition because y'all know me, I can't spend money. I mean, I just don't spend money well.
My boo Aloy.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the show with her little electric glider.
Those on the movie side, got back into my Indian cinema. Finishing up Money Heist. I'm on the last episode of that. And watching American Auto. Watching Abbott Elementary. Watching Grand Crew. All good stuff on Hulu. If you don't, whatever. That's what I've been doing.
TV-wise, my son knows who Rick and Morty is. Elmo.
And how old is he?
Year and a half.
Yeah, that's not great. He knows Rick and Morty, not cool. But go ahead.
Why not?
Why did your son need to know Rick and Morty?
Because he needs to know that love is a chemical reaction.
Okay, sure. All right.
We watched Elmo. I knew I was a dad when I was watching Ed Sheeran songs when I didn't have the kid with me.
Okay.
From Sesame Street.
Okay.
It's the song called I Live in Two Different Worlds. And then you were around. And I was singing. I was listening to it on my way to work one day. And I was like, I don't have a kid with me. And I'm singing Ed Sheeran and Elmo songs. Yeah, I've been rewatching that. I want to get back into The Expanse because I don't want to finish it because I don't want to cry. I don't have that kind of emotional. I'm not ready for that, man. Because I know as soon as I watch it, it's over. Like, it's not coming back. And I don't,
Yeah.
I don't need to lose any more friends like that.
Okay. This got real? All right.
I mean, I don't want to do that. And so I haven't finished that. I need to watch Arcane. I need to watch Vox Machina. Guys,
Oh, yeah. Finish Vox Machina. That was good.
I want to start Star Trek Prodigy, and I want to finish Discovery. And I know Picard comes out in 2 weeks.